Hi, my name is Peter Harmathy, and I'm live streaming from the Aviation and Space Museum in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And here I'm standing in front of a very peculiar airplane. He's sort of stubby looking here. It's called the Messerschmitt Komet. It was also, I guess we knew it as the flying rocket because it was a German made during the Second World War. Is actually an interceptor fighter aircraft with a rocket engine. This pioneered basically the space program when their engineers were taken from by the Americans after the Second World War into the U.S. and they developed the space program in the U.S. But the Germans pioneered this kind of technology back in the 40s, which is amazing. You see the swastika on the tail of this aircraft? And if you look at the bottom of the aircraft, you see it has wheels, but the wheels are really to transport it. They produced 400 of these, and they flew at an incredible speed. At 3 miles, it did 3 miles a minute. And it would intercept Lancaster bombers and flying fortresses and would shoot them with this powerful cannon and would down them with no problem. These aircraft were, they didn't last too long because they didn't have very much fuel capacity, so they could go up, fly to 39,000 feet, and then basically the fuel ran out and would glide down and would have to land in a field on its belly. They say that about 80% of them blew up on takeoff or landing, but they sort of ushered in and pioneered the technology of jet engines and rocket engines, and it was quite an amazing little aircraft. We take a look at the front of it. We see that it looked like this. I don't know what the little propeller is for at all, probably to gauge the wind speed. Obviously it didn't have any purpose at all, very much purpose after that. And here you see it's sort of stubby shaped. It's quite a small aircraft. I can't really stand beside it, but I would probably, my head would go over the cockpit of it. But again, it's an amazing aircraft. It's produced by the Germans. It's a rocket aircraft with a rocket engine. Now you'll understand too that the Germans, at the end of the Second World War, they produced the first, not only this rocket aircraft, but they produced the first fighter aircraft which were powered by jet engines. So the Germans pioneered the jet engine technology, which we use exclusively now in passenger flight aircraft. Now, there was a lot of bias against jet engines because they didn't believe that they would be as effective as propeller engines. So possibly because of the bias of human beings thinking that propeller aircraft were superior and jet aircraft weren't, the Germans lost the edge in the Second World War, and the Allies took over. So had history been different and people were more amenable to rocket and jet aircraft, maybe it would have changed the outcome of the Second World War. I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad it turned out the way it did. But just to let you know that the Germans were really at the forefront of a lot of engineering technology that we stole and we borrowed and we're using today to fly our passengers to our vacation destinations. So you could thank the Germans with the engineers for having produced this technology that we took over and we used for modern day purposes. Anyway, so there's the Messerschmitt Komet. Hope you enjoyed my little talk. I'm not sure if I could show you a little bit better what it looks like. There we go. Hope you enjoyed this little snippet here. You could subscribe to my channel, or you could share this video with anyone too. So I don't know if I'll find any more interesting aircraft in this aviation museum. But stay tuned for my next broadcast. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye now.